Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First off, we would like to thank everyone for coming for our big announcement here today. My name is Dustin Plunkett, Special Olympic athlete and global messenger. I've been involved in the organization for 16 years, and when I was in Shanghai, China in 2007, sharing the stage in front of 100,000 people in that stadium with Yao Ming, I began to look out at the stadium wondering what it would be like to have an event that size here in LA. As you know, in 2 years from now, we'll be hosting the 2015 Special Olympics Summer World Games right here at the Coliseum. Thank you. Thanks to Pat and the staff, my dream has now come true. And now I'd like to introduce my co-host of this event, fellow athlete, Debbie Anderson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a world of winners. This is a very special occasion, and I am glad that you all can be part of it. I am a Special Olympics athlete, global messenger, and a member of the Special Olympics LA2015 Board of Directors. I have been involved in Special Olympics for 16 years and have won over 80 gold medals. I have competed in softball, bocce, and track and field, and I am now competing in bowling and gymnastics. One thing that I have learned from Special Olympics is that nothing is impossible. In fact, that is my motto: nothing is impossible. Before I knew about Special Olympics, I was just me. Now I can say that I'm a proud Special Olympics athlete, and I'm planning on competing until I'm at least 95 years old. Two years from now, Los Angeles is going to become a stage where all the world can see just what Special Olympics is all about, and they are going to be very impressed. I know that for a fact, that because I attended the World Winter Games this past January in South Korea, and it was absolutely fabulous. Athletes who have intellectual disabilities came together and competed in challenging winter sports. It was awesome. So mark your calendars now for July 25th through August 2nd, 2015. You will experience a world of winners. Now, it gives me great honor to introduce the newest winner in Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti.
Wow. Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Dustin, and good morning, everybody. It is so wonderful to be with you here today. You can feel history around us, the history of the past, the history of this moment, and the history we will experience here as well. I want to thank our city partners who are here with us today. Somebody who doesn't need an introduction, but I will give him one. A dear friend, somebody who's been the embodiment of this city and all we love in it. My colleague from the City Council, Tom LaBonge. Stand up, Tom. Everybody's a VVIP here today, but I also want to thank Ernie Wooden, who is here as well, who is the CEO of the LA Tourism and Convention Board. Thank you, Ernie. It's going to be a great part of making this work. And Gary Tobin, I have down here, but is he here yet? But I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce as well. Gary Tobin, I know he's on his way, President, CEO. You know, it's always inspiring to visit the Los Angeles Coliseum. So many historic global events have occurred right here. The first Super Bowl, right behind me. John F. Kennedy's acceptance speech. And remember, that speech is when he laid out the idea of the new frontier. But he spoke here, facing that way towards the ocean, saying that this wasn't just a new frontier we were looking at as a country, but here in Los Angeles was the last frontier, a place where people came to because it was where everything was possible, and we're certainly going to show that again. And I love that it was his sister who had such a role in creating what we are celebrating and will be celebrating here today. Pope John Paul had a mass behind us, and of course, most famously perhaps, 2 Olympic Games. Well, now, the Special Olympics World Games in 2015 will join that list. And when 7,000 Special Olympians from 170 countries march into the Coliseum, that spotlight will shine not only on the mission of Special Olympics, but on our great city of Los Angeles. It's an honor and a privilege for LA to host these games, because LA is a city of hope, opportunity, and inclusion. The Special Olympics are an embodiment of LA's spirit. And this unique event will foster greater understanding and respect for all the world's people, regardless of ability. And Los Angeles will have the opportunity to help make the world a better and more accepting place. We're a city that is rightfully proud of the many diverse and sparkling strands that make up our civic fabric. More than 135 nationalities are represented here in our country. More than 200 languages are spoken here in Los Angeles. We have a built-in global fan base. In fact, if you're not lucky enough to be from Los Angeles, LA is your second home. The 2015 Special Olympic World Games will also be a major contributor to our local economy. And we're so excited for that, because I have said in my first days as mayor, I want to leave our recession in the rearview mirror. And our preparations for those games, and certainly the games themselves, will be a great shot in the arm, providing more than $400 million of economic benefit to Los Angeles. That's the equivalent of adding 4,300 more jobs for the region. And I'm proud today to pledge my support for the 2015 Games and to serve as honorary host along with our governor, Jerry Brown. I encourage all Angelenos to participate in the Games as a sponsor, as a volunteer, or just come out as a fan. You'll have a great time, you'll see extraordinary athletes, and you'll see the spirit of the Special Olympics. I'm now honored to introduce the newest supporter of the 2015 Special Olympics World Games. Now, he's not here in person, but he's a pretty important guy, and he sent us a little video message. So if everybody can look over here, I'd like to cue our newest supporter. I think you'll recognize him.
Hi, everybody. Here at the White House, we're already looking forward to the 2015 Special Olympics World Games in Los Angeles. Michelle and I are so honored to serve as co-chairs of this inspiring event. The Special Olympics honor a tradition that started more than 50 years ago with a little creativity, a whole lot of heart, and a big backyard at Eunice Kennedy Shriver's house. Today, that simple day camp has grown into one of the biggest sporting competitions in the world for people with intellectual disabilities. In 2015, more than 7,000 competitors from 170 countries will gather in Los Angeles for the Special Olympics World Games to show off their athletic abilities, and we couldn't be prouder of them. The athletes coming to these games represent the grit and determination that's at the very root of the American spirit. They keep working when the challenges seem greatest. They see opportunity where some see limitations. They represent the very best of the human spirit. So please join me and Michelle in supporting the 2015 World Games, and make sure you get out there to cheer on Team USA.
Well, I know I speak on behalf of all of us when I thank President and Michelle, First Lady Michelle Obama, for their support. I think we all got to start the campaign to make sure they're out here for the Olympics as well. So I certainly will be speaking to them about it the next time. Wouldn't you like to see the President out here? Yeah. All right. Well, it now gives me pleasure to introduce another president, the President and CEO of the 2015 Special Olympics World Games, our fearless leader, a man who has helped bring us to this point. Please welcome Patrick McClenaghan.
Thank you, Mayor. We so look forward to working with you in the next 2 years to make this just an extraordinary event for the city of Los Angeles and for all these athletes. And speaking of these athletes, how about these athletes, huh? They represent more than 13,000 athletes that are participating in Special Olympics Southern California, throughout Southern California, and they're led by great leaders, President and CEO Bill Schumard, Chairman Tim Redmond, and an incredible staff. If you guys are part of Special Olympics Southern California, would you raise your hand? And a special thank you to Dustin and Debbie, who are on our board of directors, and what a great job they do as well, don't they? For those of you, and I see a few of you down here in front that had something to do with the '84 Olympics, you know that it takes an amazing effort to put on games like this. We are about ready to launch upon amazing effort. We have launched upon amazing effort, but in order to do that, it requires tremendous community support. We've received that initial support from very special, committed community leaders. We've created the Founding Champions, which are leaders of Los Angeles who stepped forward with an initial commitment of $1 million or more to underwrite this effort. And I'd like to introduce those champions and sponsors to you right now. They include AEG, the Coca-Cola Company, Deloitte, Davis Allen Advertising, Kaiser Permanente, Mattel, the Walt Disney Company, David Geffen, and Steven Spielberg and his wife, Kate Capshaw. So if you're here representing any of those companies, please raise your hand. We've also received tremendous support from local foundations, including the Weigard Foundation, California Endowment, California Community Foundation, and the Rose Hills Foundation. If you're here representing there, thank you very much to those foundations. This event also would not be possible without some talented individuals, and of course we are so honored to have the President and the First Lady supporting us, the Governor and the Mayor, but this also involves a tremendous support and leadership by a Board of Directors that I think is second to none, and they're led by our Chairman Rob Friedman, and behind Rob is Todd Goldstein, Cindy McCain, David Simon, Mady Olivo, Anita DeFrance, and Dick Van Kirk, as well as Dustin and Debbie, of course. And our Chief Operating Officer, Jeff Carr. Where are you, Jeff? There he is. Jeff and I would like to thank an incredible staff that we've assembled. These are talented people from all walks of life, coming from incredibly successful careers that have decided that they want to dedicate their lives to the next 2 years to this event. And so if you're on staff, by the way, right now we have 13, 14 staff. We're growing as we go here, but we'll have 30 by the end of the year, 160 by the end of next year. Compare that to the '84 games, I think there was 1,200 employees. So the only way we make this possible is from great community support and community leaders coming alongside of us and helping to make this happen. But if you're on our staff, raise your hand, would you? Would you thank them for their commitment? Eunice Kennedy Shriver believed that she could help people with intellectual disabilities. And by the way, I'm the proud father of my daughter Kelly, who's 26 and has cerebral palsy. So I have a first-hand appreciation of the incredible work that Special Olympics does. But Eunice Kennedy Shriver believed that she could change the world of people with intellectual disabilities through the simple power of sports. Good health, self-confidence, opportunity to show courage and experience joy. She also believed that she could change the world. She audaciously believed she could change the world one community at a time. That when people came in contact with our athletes, that perceptions change. The value of our athletes as part of the fabric of our community changes. The opinions about that changes. That simple little vision that she had that started with Camp Shriver that the President referred to has today resulted in 4 million athletes in 170 countries around the world. This last year they participated in 50,000 events, and many people have a misconception about Special Olympics. They think it's once a year. They think it's track and field. It's 32 sports over summer and winter. This last year, as I said, 50,000 events, and the signature event has been the World Games, has become the World Games. The last 3 World Summer Games have taken place in Dublin, in Shanghai, in Athens, and now this will be the first time back to the United States in 16 years. So we're very proud of that. Our logo, which our ad agency Davis Allen helped us to create, along with our design team that included Dustin and Debbie on our design team as well. They do everything. Our logo is symbolic of that vision that Eunice Kennedy Shriver had some 45 years ago. It's the celebratory figure representing the courage, determination, and joy of our athletes inside the circle of acceptance and inclusion, and that's what this is all about, the awareness that leads to acceptance and inclusion. And then the multicolors represent the diversity of the athletes that will be coming to Los Angeles. But even as significant is the diversity of this community and the dynamic that exists as we bring 170 countries, and they're perfectly mirrored by the diversity of this community and the impact that we can have in all of that. We were in South Korea earlier this year for the World Winter Games to receive the flag as the next host of the World Games. And I had an opportunity to share with all of the athletes in the arena about how Los Angeles is a place where dreams come true, where no matter who you are or where you're from, that you can come to Los Angeles and realize your dreams. And that we stand, yes. And as we put on 25 sports over 9 days, 27 different sports venues, Olympic villages, Special Olympic villages, and festivals at USC and UCLA, 6,500 beds at USC, 3,500 beds at USC. As we put that on, we welcome everyone from around the world to experience their dreams, Special Olympic athletes to come and experience their dreams. So we played a video for them that we produced that celebrates the diversity of Los Angeles, celebrates, and by the way, you might really want to turn up the volume on this one. But to celebrate the diversity of Los Angeles and welcome them. And I told them that we stand ready to celebrate your courage, celebrate your determination, and celebrate your joy. And no pressure for you guys at all. But the entire arena, when this video ended, struck the celebratory pose. So you do what you want. But check it out. only thing about the pose is it's hard to clap, so you can go ahead and clap. A remarkable, and by the way, I saw some cheers up for Rafer Johnson. Rafer's on the East Coast. He so badly wanted to be here, but how incredible is it going to be to see Rafer in this Coliseum again for these World Games? For those of you that don't know, Rafer Johnson founded Special Olympics here over 40 years ago here in Southern California. Eunice Kennedy Shriver at the very first games in 1968 had Rafer as the Olympic star come help, and then said, Rafer, go back to California and start this in California. So Rafer, tremendous individual, and he's on our board as well. So that's it. We are so excited. I mentioned some of the sponsors that we have. We need a lot more. This is an incredible undertaking, and so anybody you know that wants to come alongside of us and help make this happen, I think you get a sense of how incredible this is going to be for this city. Before we end, though, we have a special presentation. Dustin, come over here. Dustin and Debbie and Rob, why don't you come up? And Mayor, why don't you come up? We want to present you with a little gift and welcome you to Team LA2015. There we go. Nice.
Thank you guys very much. Perfect day to wear it too.
Yeah, exactly. We made it lightweight.
And if that wasn't clear enough, we need more money, so please give generously. Thanks.
If we don't, I don't know if we have any questions from the press. This is a press conference, but we'd be happy to chat with you when this is over. Yes. The total budget is about $91 million, and I compared it to the '84 Olympics, which was I think about $500 million. So we're doing this very efficiently. We serve 360,000 meals while the athletes are here. We're responsible for all of their medical services from the time they land at LAX until the time they leave. We're responsible for 7,000 athletes and 3,000 coaches. But we've raised about $20 million in commitments. And as I say, the founding champions are the ones that stepped up as leaders of Los Angeles to provide the initial funding that made this possible. The previous World Games, I may mention, in Dublin and in Shanghai and in Athens, significantly supported by the government, really put on by the government. In Shanghai, 90% of their budget, which was similar to our budget, was paid for by the government. And in the true tradition of Los Angeles, we are going to privately fund this. And so we're going down uncharted waters of making this thing happen, but we believe that with the support of this community, we can. And so that's where we are right now. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you all so much for coming. Yeah, board photo. Wow. Oh, it was really good. Pat, thank you. Thank you.
It was quick, it was emotional, it was funny, it was really good.
Good, thank you.